The UN Security Council is about to vote on a Palestinian state, Michael Snyder reports. Why are they being so quiet about this? On Friday, the UN Security Council will take a vote which will determine whether or not the state of Palestine will be granted full UN membership. If this vote is successful, that will formally create a Palestinian state that will have full recognition by the international community. So this is a really big deal. Algeria is the nation that has put this draft resolution forward and is scheduled for a vote at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday afternoon. The United Nations Security Council is scheduled to vote Friday on a Palestinian request for full UN membership, said diplomats, a move that Israel ally the United States is expecting to block because it would effectively recognize a Palestinian state. The 15-member council is due to vote at 3 p.m., that's 1900 GMT Friday, on a draft resolution that recommends to the 193-member UN General Assembly that the state of Palestine be admitted to membership of the United Nations, diplomats said. It's being projected that 13 of the 15 members of the Security Council could vote in favor of this resolution, and so Israel is counting on the Biden administration to veto this. A council resolution needs at least 9 votes in favor and no votes by the US, Britain, France, Russia, or China to pass. Diplomats say the measure could have the support of up to 13 council members, which would force the US to use its veto. Just think about this for a moment. The only thing standing in the way of a Palestinian state is Joe Biden. Of course, he actually wants the Palestinian state to be established, but he wants it to happen as a result of peace negotiations. After the current war in the Middle East is concluded, there will be an all-out push to achieve that goal. For now, the war in the Middle East is poised to go to a dangerous new level. Israel is preparing to retaliate against Iran, and Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi is promising that even the slightest action by Israel will provoke a painful response. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi warned Israel that it will face a painful response if it takes the slightest action in response to Iran's unprecedented drone and missile barrage against the Jewish state over the weekend. Iran's first ever direct attack on Israel on the night of Saturday-Sunday came in response to an April 1st airstrike on Tehran's embassy compound in Damascus that has been widely blamed on Israel. So what would that painful response look like? Well, Raisi has also said that nothing would remain from the Zionist regime after Iran was finished. Raisi said Saturday's attack was a limited one, but that nothing would remain from the Zionist regime should it escalate the current situation, the official IRNA news agency reported. So what he's describing is here looks like an all-out war. And right now, there are government billboards in Tehran which ominously declare that Tel Aviv is our battleground, quote unquote. The Iranians are known for their bold talk, but in this case, I don't think they are bluffing. I believe that they really will try to hammer Israel if there's any sort of an attack on Iranian soil, and one Iranian official is even warning that this nation is prepared to use a weapon that we have never used, quote unquote. But Iranian Security Chief Abolfazi Amouei last night warned that if Israel does respond, then Tehran is prepared to use a weapon that we have never used, he said. It's unclear what weapon Amouei has referred to, but he warned Israel to act wisely as it considers its next steps. There's been a lot of debate about how hard the Israelis should hit Iran, but the truth is that Iran is going to strike back really hard no matter what form the attack takes. And it appears that a decision has already been made. In fact, on Wednesday, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron openly admitted that it is clear the Israelis are making a decision to act. During a visit to Israel, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron said Wednesday that while Israel has clearly decided to retaliate against Iran, he and other diplomatic leaders hope Israel shows restraint in its action. He added that through sanctions, Iran needs to be given an unequivocal message by the G7, a forum of advanced economies that includes the US, Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Canada, and Italy. It's clear the Israelis are making a decision to act, Cameron said in Jerusalem. We hope that they do so in a way that does as little to escalate this as possible. After meeting with Cameron and German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he appreciates their support and advice, but said Israel alone will decide how to protect itself and how to respond to the Iranian attack. I think that is true. I think that the Israeli government has decided on a course of action, but at this point I have a hard time believing that something is imminent. Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread are coming up very quickly, and virtually the entire nation of Israel shuts down to celebrate. The Israeli government knows that Iran will strike back really hard once an attack happens, and having Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread ruined by Iranian missiles would be very unpopular politically. So my guess is that any Israeli retaliation against Iran will be delayed until May. Of course, I could be wrong. We shall see. Meanwhile, on the northern front, Israel and Hezbollah continue to pummel one another. On Wednesday, mass casualties caused the Hezbollah drone hit a community center. According to Times of Israel, in response, the IDF conducted an airstrike in northeast Lebanon. So it appears that it's just a matter of time before there is all-out war between Israel and Hezbollah. We're also on the verge of seeing all-out war between Israel and Iran. The great Middle East conflict that I've been warning my readers about has arrived, and I believe that in the months ahead, events will spiral completely out of control. Once thousands of missiles are flying back and forth, the opportunity for restraint will be gone. And at this absolutely critical moment in history, in human history, Joe Biden is running, and his entourage are running things in the White House. We are in so much trouble. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Michael's new book entitled Chaos, available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon, and you can check out his new Substack newsletter right here. About the author, Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book, Chaos, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, The Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and share his articles on your own social media accounts. It's definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.